You look like you need a drink.
More.
So tell me about it.
After the trip I've had, I'm probably gonna need 2 of these.
If you're looking for a channel that just threw caution to the wind and decided to sail off into the sunset,
That's not us.
we thought that if we bought a boat that was sail ready, we could just get up and go anytime we wanted to and it would be no problem.
Yeah, but if you've ever bought a boat, certainly a used boat, you'll know that any boat that's complete, it's not complete. It's not ready.
But the dream was definitely there, and I think we really got the bug that we wanted to very soon go on a big trip. We just sort of had to figure out how we can accomplish this.
Right. So as we were bringing the boat up from Virginia, obviously I started to notice some things that would need some attention, things I didn't like, and of course some things that didn't really quite work.
The steering has to be changed. Our engine is currently not working.
All I really cared about was that the interior of the boat needed some serious upgrades for like my visual health.
This is the main cabin, so again, I'm gonna update these curtains. It's actually funny because it put them on upside down. Anyways, queen size bed. The fan does not work, and I hate that. But I'm also gonna update this headboard. Oh crap! I should totally measure that. The sink. I think I'm actually gonna update this too. Just put a new faucet in. We have to do a lot of upgrades. We definitely are gonna start with just changing the curtains and the cushions, and we're also going to change the ceiling here. It's like a, I don't know, carpet ceiling, and they didn't install it really great because there's all of this glue that seeped through the top. And it just looks dirty. I don't really think it's dirty necessarily. I'm pretty sure it's just the glue was installed really poorly. So we're gonna upgrade that. I'm not sure if we're gonna take out the carpet or not yet. I would really like to do teak, or even like the fake teak, or the new teak, whatever it's called. We're definitely gonna put some teak here on the outside of the boat. Maybe just the main floor.
Right, so while she spent a lot of time over the summer measuring curtains, measuring cushions for upholstery, starting to figure out what kinds of things she wanted to do with the ceiling and the floors, I spent a lot of time troubleshooting numerous electrical problems with the motor.
Okay, so I still have the neutral safety switch out of the loop. I just put a jumper on.
Here's
there.
my black with white stripe, which is the starter. The trigger wire.
And there's quite a few electrical problems I did not solve, having to deal with the gauges and other pieces of electronics throughout the boat.
Red lead going to white and black, which should be battery power. And then I have black, which should be ground.
Positive 13 volts.
And there's no shower, so if they need a shower, I don't think I'm gonna be one of those boat girls that just handles the shower.
The head, simple. There should be a built-in shower, but they took it out along with the water heater on this boat. So if we are gonna do long voyages, which we are super hoping to do, we're gonna have to put that in.
There's supposed to be a shower in the boat. There's a drain pan for a shower. We'll remedy that. We'll put an instant hot water heater with a shower in the head. And then to accommodate me and my
Giant
giant legs, my height, not necessarily my giant ass, One thing I'd like to do actually is modify the drain pan and get an additional inch of headroom in the head. So besides spending the summer sailing around on the Hudson River, one of the very first things I really wanted to do was pull the boat out of the water.
Skimmer? I thought the boat was called 9 Lives.
I really wanted to see the condition of the bottom. Check out the center boards. And look at the condition of the through hulls and make sure everything was hunky-dory down below.
The middle, right?
Those are scuppers. Look at this. Wooden bushings for the sled.
I mean, it floated, so we weren't too worried,
Right.
but it definitely was something we had to do.
Yeah, absolutely need to know the condition of the bottom of the boat before we go setting off on some sort of extended journey.
So I let the boys do the boy things, and I did the girl things. So I spent a few days analyzing what I wanted to change in the boat. Quite a few measurements were taken, trips to Joann Fabrics, some over purchases on Amazon that were probably way too premature.
Yeah.
Needless to say, we picked out the curtains we want,
Figure out how to do it.
a few sewing lessons from Grandma, and a Singer sewing machine later. We still don't have the curtains done.
Still don't have the curtains done. But I did get the engine running
The
properly.
ignition key still doesn't work properly. I know the solenoid is fine, and as a matter of fact, the old one was fine. But without changing the coil pack, I anticipate that I should be able to just start this, and it'll run for a few minutes before the existing coils get hot.
And it now starts with a key. So some of the troubleshooting I did actually proved to be advantageous to our plans of sailing around the world.
But aside from those small things, we do have quite a few more things on our to-do list.
So important things, to name a few. Once it finally warms up a bit here, I'm going to go around the entire boat and fix any gouges, cracks, anything that's an imperfection in the hulls, because the next step is to prime and paint the hulls.
And put a decorative soap dish in the bathroom.
Okay, besides the decorative soap dish, I'd also like to do something about the bimini top, which is actually very unique on this boat, but it's supported by a pair of PVC legs in the back, one of which is already broken.
We're also going to change our bimini top. It's really not in great shape. It's got some pretty bad cracks and leaks, and these sliding things don't work. So we're actually thinking of putting in the big sunroof right here that pops open like the other hatches inside the boat. And we're also going to change the support structure to be more centralized here. And we're also going to have something that extends out that we can put our dinghy on.
So what I'd like to do is whack the whole damn thing right off the roof.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have new plans now that I haven't talked to you about replacing the existing bimini top with a sliding design I came up with, so that the bimini top, when it's in its forward position, provides a little bit of a sunshade over the helm, but when you slide it all the way back, it provides a sunshade over the entire cockpit. The reason I like this idea is because the reason I want to get rid of the legs on the bimini top in the first place is because the main sheet halyard especially during a jibe, tends to wrap around and put a lot of pressure on the back legs. So if I get rid of the back legs, I won't have that problem
I
anymore.
don't have that problem anymore.
Yeah.
So
Now
we
you-
thought we were going to leave in June. Now I'm thinking we're not going to leave until 2050. No, I'm just kidding.
That modification may not happen. I may just clean up the bimini top as it is right now, get rid of all the cracks and things in it, and maybe we'll just live with it for another year. But it is a project I'd like to ultimately build. Something else I'd really like to do, but I'm not 100% on this yet. As I mentioned, I already have changed my plans for what to do with the bimini top.
Literally a minute ago.
Well, it was last night. It kept me up at night. One thing I'd like to do is build out of aluminum a new arch and actually relocate the main sheet traveler from its low position up to the top of the arch, which will open up some visibility in the back, I guess. But also, the arch can be the starting point for where we can install davits to ultimately mount our dinghy.
Which we don't know if it works or not.
Oh, we have a dinghy. We have an old Avon that, yeah, I don't know if it holds air. It's original
It
1984.
has a plyboard bottom, right?
A plywood, whatever.
Plywood
Yeah.
bottom.
Or plyboard.
You know, I just don't know how to say things. It's my downfall.
Yeah, we have dinghy problems. We have this one. But also, we don't know if the dinghy
Maybe
holds
you
air.
have dinghy problems.
We don't. And we also have a very nice 2.5 horsepower 4-stroke Yamaha outboard for the dinghy, which I imagine won't be enough power to push it much. So something I'd like to do is get like a 9.9 or a 15 horse dinghy motor mounted on a transom bracket, and then it can act as a backup kicker motor in case our main motor dies. So we have a lot of projects queued up that we're going to work on before we take off, and we have a lot of additional projects that we'd like to get done before we go, but I think we could probably manage them along the way.
I think a lot of it is balancing what you have to do with what can wait. Because if we just keep waiting, we'll always be waiting. But I think there's some really important things we have to get done that it's necessary to do.
Yeah.
Boats are expensive.
Boats are expensive. Our first plan for a journey, actually, is to take a trip around America's Great Loop.
It's great because we're already on the Hudson River, which is one of the legs you'd have to take to do the Great Loop.
Right.
And the other great thing is you're so close to shore most of the time. If you have a light day at work, you can do some sailing, which is mostly motoring with the Great Loop. Or you can dock or anchor and then do it on the weekends.
So if you don't know much about the Great Loop, what it is a circumnavigation of the eastern half of the United States. So we can take a side trip if we have some time and actually spend a bit of time in the Caribbean or in the Bahamas.
Which is not really a part of the Great Loop.
Not technically.
So basically, we do want to go to the Caribbean, we're just going to take a really long detour.
Yeah, the way you do the Great Loop is you tend to follow the seasons. So you want to spend the summer in the northernmost parts, which would be the Great Lakes. And then as fall is approaching, you want to start working your way down the river system. And ultimately you spend the winter down, in Florida, in the Gulf of Mexico, that area. And then come spring, you find yourself heading back north. So it works really well for us because if I'm working remote, if you're working remote, on the Great Loop, we'll always be close enough to have good cellular service so I can continue to connect to my company and my clients and do my work Monday through Friday.
So even though we do want to end up sailing the Caribbean and we want to end up
Sailing the world.
In the world, we're going to start with this. We're going to get our finances in order. We're going to finish our boat projects. And then, the Vagabond, coming for you, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. So, So, every great journey starts with a great loop.
Oh, Christ. Look, this is our plan, right? We want to set off in June and do the Great Loop. As we said, we have a lot of projects. We'll show you some of those. I don't think we're going to get through half the list, but we'll do what we can.
As long as we get through the most important things, is the boat running? Can we trust our motor? Is the bottom of the boat taken care of? Is there a hot water heater? Can I take a shower? Then we'll probably end up going in June.
Yeah.
If we don't end up going in June, you know, we're not going to beat ourselves up. Obviously, it is a big commitment owning a boat and deciding what you're going to do with your boat, but we are definitely going to do great things. If we can't get on the loop, we're going to be like every other sailing channel in the entire YouTube list and just go to the Caribbean. Hey everybody, you want another person clogging the channels? We're here, right here.
Pig
9
Beach!
lives.
Pig Beach
That's
coming
more.
your way!
9 lives.
Pig Beach!
Don't worry, you've never seen us do it. It's gonna be great.
Mast up again, but we probably really won't sail again until we get down to the Gulf of Mexico.
Again.
So we probably won't really get to sail again until we get down to the Gulf of Mexico.
No, you said again like 500 times.
So once we pass Chicago, we probably won't get to sail
Again.
again